Government strengthening legislation to combat human trafficking. Good Monday evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
I'm Keish Latterley. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Topping the news, last year, the country's first human trafficking conviction was thrown out by the appeals court after it was found that the trial judge had no jurisdiction to try the offense in the Supreme Court. The defense attorney argued that a voluntary bill of indictment should not have been filed, sending the matter directly to the Supreme Court, as the charges of trafficking in persons and withholding documents were not indictable offenses.
Accepting this, the High Court, in its judgment, said removing the necessity for a preliminary inquiry in the Magistrates' Court is a matter of Parliament policy, and legislative amendments can achieve that result. And as government takes that step, beginning debate on Wednesday, it's also complying with international standards.
Well, Attorney General Senator the Honorable Allison Maynard Gibson explained just how the system works regarding VBIs and noted that the government is taking a no-tolerance approach to this type of crime.
But what happens is that at the moment, the Attorney General decides whether or not a matter is to proceed by way of a voluntary bill of indictment or not. The decision is made based upon the recommendation of the Director of Public Prosecutions. And on a go-forward basis, when we have an independent DPP, that will also be the case. That's the way that it's been the practice in the Bahamas since time immemorial, since we can remember. And there was some confusion, that's what we believe, and we want to make it very clear that, and we believe that the Bahamian people want that as well, because people do want to see the tremendous successes that have happened in swift justice. For example, last year, 40 matters were disposed of within a year of charge. And the year before, we had 7 murders tried and convictions obtained within a year of charge. So trafficking in persons is a very, very serious matter. In fact, it has been called we call it, international organizations also call it modern-day slavery. For those of us as women, and also young men as well, we have to be very concerned about it. People are exploited, and that's just not who we are as a people. This offense also is trafficking, which means that it is usually cross-border as well. And so we are collaborating with other jurisdictions as well to ensure that this kind of offense, this kind of crime is stamped out. It's not something that we condone, and we are going to make sure that the Bahamas is not used as a jurisdiction for modern-day slavery.
Meantime, senators will begin debate on the Freedom of Information bill on Thursday. They met briefly this morning for the first reading of the bill, which was passed in the lower house earlier this month. The legislation, which holds those in public office accountable, speaks to the availability of information and what information can be accessed, as well as the time frame for a response. The bill was introduced last year, and it's expected to replace and repeal the one passed by the former administration in 2012.